Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hello?
Sarah?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Can't hear you now, though.
Oh boy. Let me move a bit here.
An island. A great place to visit, but tricky to renovate.
Ever dream of having a country retreat and fixing it up so it's perfectly you? Well, I'm doing just that to my own summer house. It's rustic, remote, and on its way to remarkable. Stick with me. I'll show you how to create the getaway of your dreams.
Summertime on an island. The living is easy, and the waves are lapping at the shore. And if you listen really hard, you just might hear the sound of a nail gun. That's right, I'm renovating. My husband, Alexander, has had this place since he was a swinging bachelor. But now that we have a growing family, we're ready for our country retreat to do some growing up as well. Here's the catch. This house is on an island only accessible by boat or plane. And did I mention, I'm 6 months pregnant.
I have to get this done before this baby arrives.
Talk about a hard deadline. So far, we've tackled the living room. Up next is the guest rooms. I wanted to bump them out and in the process create a main entryway for easy access. We started the reno last fall and I haven't seen this place since then.
Oh, this is exciting. This is the first time that you've been able to walk in the door here. This is going to now be the main entrance. You used to just come through the living room.
And now that we have a proper front door, we can put a closet in this alcove.
What I want is a full height closet on each end. So one here and one here. Then a nice wide bench in between that links the two closets together. And I want to put hooks all the way across the back. And it'll just keep the overall feeling of this entry a little bit more open. Then we look into, this is the west bedroom here. It's not large, but folks, let's keep in mind one thing. These are guest rooms. Your guests are supposed to stay for a couple of days, not forever. The west bedroom is small, the east bedroom's kind of smaller. Now, this used to be a really problematic bedroom because it had a big sliding door, and this is east. So this gets the bright, bright, bright morning light, and the room got too hot. So we opted to change the big sliding doors into a smaller window because basically the sun always came up right in this corner here. So I'm hoping that by framing it in, we will have fixed part of that sunrise issue.
That's the story so far. I'm doing 2 bedrooms, so that means I'm on the hunt for beds, linens, dressers, rugs, and some quirky elements to add to the cottage flavor.
What treasures are we gonna find today, Tommy?
I don't know, but there's always something here.
Treasures.
And speaking of quirky elements,
This is one of my favorite places in the entire world.
Brackets.
And I've been around.
Hooks.
Tommy is going to be my right-hand man on this project.
Okay.
And since he's a regular visitor to the island,
Those are gorgeous.
he'll definitely have something to say about the guest rooms.
Oh, look at those windows. You know what? I've been off that whole old window as a mirror frame kind of thing for a long time because they can look a bit cheesy. But when you've got a window as beautiful as that, it works.
Can I just remind you of something?
What?
You say that every time we come here.
That I've been off something or I don't like
No,
something?
that you don't like window frame mirrors,
Oh.
and then you come here and you like them all of a sudden.
But look at the shape. Don't you
Every
love the
time.
round within the...
It's gorgeous.
Check that out.
That's beautiful. It's like an asterisk.
What do you think?
I think it's spectacular, and you have to buy it.
But look, you sand this down. If we wanted to soften the green a little bit, we could rub a little bit of white over top and then just urethane it.
I'm not sure we want to soften the green
You
a
think
little
you
bit.
want the green to be...
Yes, I do.
Hello, Tommy!
I think we can use that green as a jumping off point for the fabric scheme because you said you wanted green.
Fair enough, but if we go with a cool green palette in one room, I think I want to go bright and sunny in the other.
How about some crazy floral?
Okay, like that I see as mad skirt, but not so much as fabric in a room.
Not just pillowcases in a room?
That's a mental case, not a pillowcase, okay?
No, this doesn't
That's
make
just-
you think happy and cheery and...
It makes me think I'll maybe never sleep another wink in my life.
I don't know. I kind of like it. And I think sooner or later, this floral is going to grow on Tommy, too.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you. An entryway. So now we can actually have a real door. So the cottage has an entry. I think that's very feng shui or whatever they say.
Let's hope Vito is as enthusiastic when he arrives.
It's not an old cottage, but I'm trying to kind of make it feel like it, which is part of the reason why, you know, changing to the new windows that have the division in it and just trying to make it feel a little bit more charming. So we can reuse the pine that was on here, which would be good, a little bit of a cost saving.
We'll recycle the old pine, but I want to whitewash it so I have a neutral background for my fabric schemes.
So the thing about these rooms is they have a totally different character.
Right.
The east one faces the sunrise, and it always feels kind of hot.
Okay.
Whereas the west one looks out to the water,
It's cooler.
gets all the breeze.
Yeah.
So should we be flipping that?
Well, I do think that the mood and the quality of light in each room would enhance the current selection. So if this is east, the bright light and the warm light will serve to enhance that fabric scheme, and the same goes for the sort of more shaded, breezy, cooler room. So I would go with it,
So
and
go
not
with it.
against it.
So the west guest gets cool blues and greens, while the east palette is going to be bright and sunny. If only we could say the same thing about the weather.
There's so many challenges working at a town.
I don't think we're going to be able to make it out there today.
When you're working at a cottage, you are at the mercy of the weather.
We don't want to take chances and get lost out in the waters here, and basically we're going to have to sit and wait out the storm.
But having an entire crew sit around and lose 5 hours, I mean, that's a lot. That's bad. It's expensive, too. I mean, you're just paying people to sit in their boat and hope that it clears. Not efficient use of time or money.
Mother Nature 1, Sarah and crew 0.
We've had everybody sitting at the marina for almost 5 hours waiting for the rain to let up. And now we've got boat trouble.
This is the part we need.
Now we're stuck waiting for basically a boat taxi to get us to the island.
And just when things look their bleakest, the cavalry arrives. Well, Alexander in a motorboat. And to make sure the rest of the day is smooth sailing, I'm going to pick up some essential supplies for an island luncheon. Things are moving along inside, but outside, we have a little problem.
What happened? Somebody burnt that one.
Happily, the construction is going a little bit better than the cooking. At least Vito's burning through our recycled paneling. Meanwhile, Tommy and I are on a hunt for rustic charm, and nothing says country like rag rugs.
These are fun.
Those are great.
Look at the colors, huh?
They're amazing.
The tricky thing with rag rugs is finding them the right size.
You have space in that room for a runner, though.
Okay, so those colors are nice. It's got some pink, some red, some yellow. Ooh, I like these. Here, I'll roll to you. This has more blue, and you notice the orange. No, I think I like the first one better.
So, that's the East Room taken care of.
Okay, I can tell I'm gonna love this place. That's beautiful. Is this a rag rug? What is this?
Well, it is a rag rug, but you know, you can also use them as bedspreads.
This is vintage, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
This is so soft. It's so beautiful, and it's the perfect colors for my bedroom.
have you decided, are you moving into the West Room?
That bedroom's where I slept before the makeover.
Of course, it will be a little while before anybody sleeps in these guest rooms. But when they do, they're going to need some storage. So Tommy and I have to nail down a bargain.
I see you at $30, looking for 35. 30 on my left, 35, 40, 45.
It needs
50,
total refinishing.
60.
Spray it.
It's pine furniture that's been painted and lacquered.
I'm shopping with the doubting Thomas, but I'm pretty sure this is the dresser for me.
130, 140, 150, 160, 170.
This dresser
Let's get
is
started at
$200.
$80.
It's an antique.
Condition is perfect.
It's entirely original. It's had a really
$80,
ugly paint job or
$70.
something done to it, but if I repaint it, it'll be great. And check it out. There's a little bonus.
$90, $80, 90, 100. 90,
Some cottage wear. I think we'll leave those here.
There is a little condition to this, obviously.
If only things were going this well for Vito.
Sakes.
Remember this?
So we can reuse the pine that was on here,
Okay.
which would be good. A little bit of a cost savings.
I may have been wrong about that.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hello?
Sarah?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Can't hear you now, though.
Oh boy. Let me move a bit here.
Another one of the challenges of working on an island.
Okay. I'm sorting through the paneling.
Right.
And I'm having a hard time locating pieces long enough to span the room size for ceiling and some of the walls.
Really?
I'm trying to make do with what we have here, and I've got a bunch of pieces at, 60 inches, 36 inches, like different sizes, not enough to give us the lengths we need without having seams.
Brother.
Here's the problem. The original panels were stained and they've darkened over time. If I have to add any new pine, the colors won't match.
We're into thousands of dollars if we start looking at stripping them.
Right.
Okay, so how about this? Let's go 36 inches and then we'll make it a chair rail.
Okay.
I mean, basically what I'm trying to do is take a dog's breakfast and turn
Right.
it into something that looks somewhat decorative and funky. That stinks. When we started the construction, we pulled off all the paneling in hopes that we could salvage enough of it that we wouldn't have to buy all new paneling for every single room in the house.
It's become very challenging and extremely frustrating in trying to reuse the boards that we had here and not create a seam at some point in the walls. So I've turned to the new boards to try and speed this up.
Vito did his best, but sometimes when you try to cut corners, you get what you pay for.
What I'm seeing is we've got such a glaring difference between the color of the new boards and the color of the old boards that I've just arrived with all the stain, and there's no way that the stain that I've brought is going to cover this differentiation, so it's going to look like two different colors. Plus, in some cases, if there was a piece of furniture or something, or a piece of artwork in front of the paneling, you can see that it's faded differently. So, I just don't see how this is possibly going to work.
We've had to combine new wood with old, but I don't know if our stain will hide the color variation.
And what happens if you brush it?
That's what I'm trying right now, actually, to see what it's gonna look like, because it's not penetrating at all.
I think we all want to just vote these old boards off the island. Uh-huh. Are you saying uh-huh in there, Vito?
Yeah.
It's not working.
Okay, how long has it been sitting for?
Just a few minutes. Not that long.
Should we give it 5?
Could try that.
Sink in! There was one that had color variation in it, and I'm not seeing it anymore.
Well, that's a good thing.
No, I think this is working.
I'm excited to see if our makeshift solution is going to stick. But after looking at the problem for so long, I need a fresh pair of eyes for an honest second opinion.
Uh-oh.
Don't you be laughing at my pain, Thomas.
This is totally
This isn't gonna work.
a problem. Look in the corner.
Well, I know, but this is the problem, is so we didn't end up having enough old pine left over. Does it look like a two-color scheme, or it just looks bad? It just looks bad. This was a big mistake. Trying to save this paneling, waste of money, waste of time.
Is it at all possible to salvage at least the ceiling panels, which seem to be working really well, and then just do something solid over the parts that don't work?
This is a drag because I really wanted to avoid painting over the wood.
I know that she's disappointed about not seeing the wood grain show through, but at the end of the day, we still have beautiful wood paneling. And the V-groove adds texture. We're still gonna have beautiful looking walls. They're just gonna be white.
You know, I never met a lightly painted room that I didn't like.
This looks so much better.
So much better.
Leaving the ceiling looks great.
I know, it gives it all the warmth it needs. You know, that's the thing about wood, is that you don't need to have it everywhere.
No.
You just need to have an accent.
And speaking of accents, it's time to fix up that dresser I found at the auction. And for even more storage, we're installing the closets in the front hall. But we need something extra special in our west room, so I'm including a custom-made headboard complete with a nautical feel.
Okay, so basically what I was hoping is that the sweep in the headboard would kind of capture this feeling of the fabric. And I'm wondering, should that just end like this?
Yeah, it's a little too pointed.
Okay. Looks like the ocean. The waves. Perfect.
As for the east bedroom, I want to add a little vintage charm.
Of everything in my life, this actually has some sentimental value.
You never have sentimental
I know I've
feelings
not really
toward
touched
furniture.
anything, but this was my parents' bed when I was growing up.
Come on.
Yeah, here's the story. My grandmother found this at a garage sale for $2.
Come on.
And then this was the first bed my parents had when they were married. All the bedtime stories, when
Yeah.
you were sick and had to climb into bed, this tiny little double bed.
That's the bed that you crawled into.
And it's been sitting in a barn in storage for years. This room feels huge now.
It is a big room.
I'm feeling like it's smooth sailing to our guest room finish line. Now it's time to bring in our showstoppers. That is, if we can squeeze them in.
Out there and come straight through.
I can't believe it. Can't believe it's the same dresser.
Can we flash back to what it looked like before? Chocolate brown high gloss paint.
Yeah,
But look at this with the two colors.
it's amazing. Are we reversed?
Don't you love this game with antique dressers?
Oh, I know.
Which drawer goes where?
It's always a good idea to label them before painting them, but I think we might have forgotten to do that.
I always think of the east bedroom as being a very sunny room. So I felt like it should have a vibrant color palette full of really joyful summer colors.
Painting the pine has made the rooms so much brighter and so much more spacious feeling inside. There's also kind of this casual elegance to them now, which really makes a tremendous difference.
One of the features that everybody loves about old cottages is that there is a sort of mismatched style where it feels that the room has grown over time. And I guess that's really what I wanted to achieve in the east bedroom. By changing the door to a window, I was actually able to perfectly frame out the exact spot where the sun rises. So this room is much cooler and much darker in the morning now. The space that we've used to create a beautiful entry into the cottage used to be bedroom closets, and the only entry we had before was to come in through the living room doors. So now I have a place with lots of room for hanging up coats and keeping beach footwear handy. It's just terrific, but I think the important thing to keep in mind when you're dealing with a cottage space is you have to design and build storage elements in. Small rooms don't allow you a huge amount of room for expression, so I think it's important to integrate a number of bold fabric choices to really capture the look that you're trying to achieve. In this case, I did that through the combination of the drapes and the fabric that I put on the headboard. It's a playful fabric that reminded me of the waves, and I decided to create a headboard which has a little bit of a scooped wave detail in it. It's a fairly subtle reference, but I think it's always important to add that extra level of attention to detail because that's what makes the difference in a room. You'll never be able to say that the guest rooms in our cottage are large or spacious, but I hope that guests will feel that they are welcoming.
As a person who often has stayed and plans to frequently still stay in the guest rooms at this cottage, they were pretty important to me. And I think that they're awfully well appointed now. There isn't a guest that's gonna have a bad time or a bad sleep in either of those bedrooms.
What treasures are we gonna find today, Tommy?
I don't know, there's always something here.
Oh, look at those windows.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, she scared me.
Oh my God, don't do that to me.
Look at her.
You scared me,
I
and then
know.
she scared me again.
I know, but look at her.
I got
I
scared
thought there was
twice.
someone standing there.
I don't like her.
What's she doing in her prom dress?